Welcome back for part 9 of the 25-part series, 25 credit repair secrets you wish you knew sooner. This is the information that no one wants you to know about. But guess what, my friends? I am exposing these hoes. Yes, I am. I'm giving you all the information because if you knew better, you would do better. In today's video, part 9, we're going to be talking about the date of first delinquency versus the DOLA date, the date of last activity. A lot of people misunderstand this information, but it is very important to understand because these are the type of errors that often happen on your credit report that can end up having an account report for that many years longer. Now, a lot of people may know or may not know, but accounts will report 7 years on your credit from the date that you first became delinquent on the account. So you want to make sure that that date does not get re-aged. What that means is, say for example, a collection agency purchased that account and they changed the date of first delinquency to 2025. Well, now that account will report for another 7 years on your credit report. We don't want that to happen, guys, okay? We always want to make sure that we are paying attention to every single little detail, from the dates to the dollar amount. It doesn't matter if it's 1 cent difference, $1 difference, 1 day difference. There's only one accurate answer. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the difference between those things and what that would look like if someone did happen to re-age the account. Now, I want you to do me a favor. Make sure you are subscribed, turn your bell notifications on, and most importantly, give me a huge thumbs up and watch all of the 25-part series videos. You can even purchase this guide here for a little bit of nothing if you didn't want to watch all 25 of the videos. Now, I will leave a link in the description with all of the information that we are discussing today. Now, for those of you that are a member of the credit community, thank you. I love you guys. But you can access this guide inside of the community. I actually have posted it in there, and eventually it will be created into an ebook. And I give ebooks inside of the credit community for my credit community members to sell as their own, rebrand them, but have digital products. So it's super easy. But this is the credit community. You will have access to all of the replays in here. It's not like other master classes or, communities where you have to pay extra to watch certain videos. Everything is going to be accessible to you. And if you are watching this video and you take action and sign up for the credit community, I will give you access to all of the courses. Just message me, remind me, say, hey, I watched the 25-part series video and you promised that you would give me access to all of the courses plus access to the community. I got you. You'll have lifetime access to the courses. And of course, right now we have some specials going on for the community because it's the beginning of the year 2025 and we want to help, okay? I want you guys to be empowered with information so you can take action and change your life. That's my goal because it happened to me. Right? It happened to me, and I am so thankful that I invested in myself and I educated myself. It was learning a whole new skill. I feel like I went to college online. Good old YouTube University. Just kidding. But it is great, right? So at any rate, the date of first delinquency is the date that you first became delinquent on an account. So if you first got a 30-day late payment, then that is going to be the first date that you actually became delinquent on that account. Now, if that account was then brought current and it didn't charge off, then that wouldn't be the date of first delinquency. But say, for example, you got a 30-day, then you got a 60-day, then you got a 90-day, and then you never paid it, and eventually the account was charged off. Okay, well, the first date of delinquency would be the first time that you got that 30-day late payment. So that's when your time clock starts to tick for this particular account, because now we know that, hey, if you first became delinquent on an account in June of 2024, that account is going to, it could, report onto your credit for the next 7 to 7.5 years. Eventually, if you do nothing, it will fall off organically, but probably not the best idea. Now, versus the DOLA date, which is the date of last activity. The date of last activity is going to be the last time that the account has a payment recorded. Very similar, that people kind of get mixed up is, it's based on the date of last activity. No, it's not. It's not. So I put together this guide here for you guys to kind of get some examples of it, because there is a lot of misunderstandings about that. Now, say for example, a really old account kind of got, re-aged and now is kind of reporting and back, a little current. That would probably drop your credit score, because FICO, the older that something is, the less, harm it's causing to your credit, versus if you have any sort of new activity on the account and it's a derogatory account, it could drag your credit score right down with it. So that's why I always recommend to people, if you are going to settle an account, I don't have anything against it. I am the biggest advocate of settling your debt, because if you have validated your debt, you know that this debt belongs to you, and you're like, look, it's mine. Okay, I know it's mine. I know I owe that amount of money. Well, if you know you owe that amount of money, then sometimes, it might just be better to settle the debt. Okay, settle the debt. Yes, I said it. Settle the debt, because you don't want it to come around and bite you in the ass later on. Say you're, buying a home, and all of a sudden now this new collection comes on your account from a collection that, you thought you got deleted during credit repair. No, we don't want those type of surprises happening. Okay, we want to deal with it and not have to worry about it. I feel like sometimes when people get credit repair, it's just like sweep under the rug, right? You clean it up, but it ain't really clean, because all you have to do is just peek into some of the history and you'll see all the dirt, okay? You want to take the time, do the right way. Sometimes you have to pony up and pay. And even though you may have gotten credit repair, even with my clients, I'm very forthcoming with them. And I say, look, we'll get what we can off. But a lot of times when it comes to charge-offs that are with the original creditor, we recommend that you just simply pay it, because the chances of that just going away with credit repair is very slim to none. And if you have paid for credit repair and you've gotten charge-offs deleted from your credit report, there's only one of two ways that it's actually happening. Number one is probably they claimed identity theft. Let's just be honest. Or number two, they used some sort of hack where they got it blocked from your reports. But ultimately, hey, if it works, it works. I don't judge anybody, but I will say this, you want to deal with things in an ethical way. You also don't want things to come back and bite you in the butt later on. You want to be educated, and sometimes you have to pay old debts. That's just the way it is. But honestly, I'm going to tell you like this. If you pay for your old debts, you're going to appreciate credit a lot more and understand, I can't let this happen again. I have a newfound respect for credit, and I know if I might not be able to fix it as fast, it's getting harder and harder to fix things. But back to the story at hand. There's 25 parts to this series, and I'm sure I cover a ton. But back to this here, what collection agencies do is they will essentially re-age the account, which is illegal. They're not allowed to do that. So, for example, take a charge off that's not been paid or updated since the creditor, since like 2016. And it's kind of been like in idle phase for like 3 years now. It's not actively reporting. Okay, but even if it's old and it has a balance, if you are buying a home, it's going to need to have a zero balance, or else that will affect your debt to income. So ultimately, sometimes it's just better to settle it. If you need help with debt settlement, you can always book a call with me. I actually help clients by calling in to creditors and collection agencies and helping them with negotiations on debt settlement so we can get this thing in the past, because not always is credit repair going to be the solution. And that's why I always recommend folks book a consultation. My consultations are paid, but I will apply the consultation fee if you sign up for service with me. The only time that the consultation isn't applied is if you have a consultation and then, you sign up for like the credit community or something like that. A consultation is still, not going to be applied towards that. But if you, book a consultation just to talk about, credit repair, and then you sign up for credit repair, then of course I can, apply it towards that. But nonetheless, this is a breakdown for you guys. Okay, I'm not gonna read it all because it's super boring and nobody wants to hear me read, but I do put it out there for you guys. Take a screenshot of it, okay? For those of you that are too cheap to buy my guide and invest in me like I invest in you guys, hey, I understand not everyone's got it like that, but this guide right now is less than what you would pay for dinner. So, support your girl, buy the guide if you want to. It's got a ton of information in here. And I also give you access to additional ebooks and guides within this guide. So it's a ton of value, guys, here. But that is the difference. You want to make sure that, again, you're educated on these terms and what they actually mean and the impact that they can have on you if a mistake were to be made or if you catch errors. Because I read credit reports all the time, and it's really easy for me to spot them out, but it might not be so easy for you. So that's why I recommend getting a copy of your 3B report with like Smart Credit. I've left a link below because they have it side by side, and you can say, oh, well, that date of last activity is, March 1st of 2024. This is, June. This is August. If you've got 3 different dates, that is a problem and you need to dispute it, and, hopefully that will just end up in them deleting the account. But if it doesn't, for whatever reason, at least you will have that information updated so it can't affect you for a longer term. But ultimately, guys, I want you guys to take the time, learn before you earn, and implement this information, okay? If you are starting a credit repair business, I also work with people one-on-one on starting up their business. Now, if you run a credit repair business or you want to start a credit repair business, I also work with folks one-on-one in starting their business. We work together for a year period, and I will help you, guide you, and work with you one-on-one. You'll also get access to the community where we have live calls multiple times a month, and I often bring on guest speakers so they can share how they have had so much success. So you're not just hearing it from me, but you can hear it from others as well. And, watch all of these videos inside of the credit community, because there is just a ton of value inside of here. And this is the information that you need to know, okay? This is how it is being done. These are how the professionals are doing it. So whether you want to start a credit repair business, a funding business, business credit, you name it, it is inside of the community. I want to thank you for watching. If you haven't already, watch all of the 25 videos in this 25-part series. I know it's wild, right? I am so excited that you found me. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Give me a thumbs up. Turn your bell notifications on. And most importantly, take action. I'll see you next time.